Get ready for the Bolivar Christmas Market, Saturday of Thanksgiving weekend in Crystal Beach, Texas at Festival Park. Arts, crafts, clothing, woodwork, bags, and more. Hey everybody, I'm David with Bolivar Live. Well, I did a little teaser last week about what this week's show is going to be like, but Dan and I, we've talked about fishing a lot down here because it's a big part of their family, whether it's his girls, his wife, him. But every year, and it just happened a couple weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago, I think, you have a buddies fishing week, and it's a full week.
It is.
Let's talk about that a little bit, because this isn't something that just started last year or the year before. This has been going on for some time.
Yeah, it started actually with my dad.
Oh, did it?
Yeah. So back in the 70s, they would fish for a week and come down here, and then we really started it up with our friends in about 1991. And so this same group of guys has been coming down here since then, and we just come down for a week and go fishing and have a good time and go eat at Stingery and all the other restaurants and have fun.
Let's talk about the fishing this year.
Yep.
We had this slam tournament right after, at the end of that week.
Yep.
And you had talked about it, the fishing wasn't as strong for y'all during the week as it had been in the past years. Let's talk about that a little bit and why you think it's like that.
Oh, you know, that's a hard question to answer. You know, for years, we come down here and we actually target flounder. It's just kind of a flounder thing that we do. And, but for some reason, the past couple of years, we haven't caught as many. This year, it kind of came back some. We caught some reds. One of the reasons I think that was a little tougher year is because we had some really, really high tides. And
I think that freeze that we've had, you know, we had a year and then we skipped a year, and I think we had another year, those freezes down here.
So if you don't know it, David knows what he's talking about. He was a fishing guide for quite some time, so he knows what he's doing.
Talking to my buddy over at Texas Parks and Wildlife, I really think those freezes hurt flounder more than we realize.
Yeah, there's some conversation about the Gulf temperature being actually high, but inland, you know what happened in the cold water, we lost a lot of stuff. But
the other thing is, I think that because we didn't have a storm in the Gulf this year,
flushing things out is a big deal.
Well, not that, but an old timer told me this when I first started, and so I remembered it and started fishing by it. Anytime there was a storm in the Gulf, the flounder moved.
Really?
Is what he told me, and so late in the season,
I'll just keep, and we won't, you know, we're not going to hope for that.
Late in the season,
we catch enough flounder.
If we had a storm in the Gulf, and we've had, you know, quite a few tropical storms and reading that, I fished by that, you know, and I fished certain areas, and I knew that in August, towards the end of August, 1st September, I'd go here. But that's how I sort of did it, and I kept a log and used to watch when fronts come through, what the temperatures were and stuff, because it seemed like it always helped a little bit on moving them. But let's talk about shrimping.
Okay.
Because I made a comment to you, man, Chris said the bay boats are catching a lot of shrimp, you know, and they've been bringing in fresh shrimp. And let me tell you, if you haven't had fresh shrimp from Galveston Bay, you're
nothing better.
Missing it.
Yeah.
I'm not talking IQF off one of the Gulf boats.
Which is a great product. It's just different.
I'm talking fresh, pulling the net in, or fresh off the boat shrimp. There's a big difference. But you said, David, you called me one day and said, David, I'm going shrimping. You've got a sportsman's net.
Yep.
And how much can you catch?
15 pounds a man per day in the bay.
In the bay.
Yeah, it's different in the Gulf.
You're going to see some videos here of the birds dive, and how'd you do? You did good.
Yeah, it was not a problem getting those 15 pounds a man. It was not bad, not hard at all. It was so my dad and I used to shrimp when I was a kid. We would spend our Saturdays and Sundays shrimping, and we'd watch Monday Night Football and eat boiled shrimp and the crabs. And I haven't done it in a long time, and I've got this grandson coming along, and I've got some daughters, and just kind of decided to myself, let's bring this back. So I went and found
a family tradition.
It's another thing that we do down here, and we haven't done in a long time. So went out, and one of the things that kind of prompted it, I saw some of the guys down in Bolivar out in the bay shrimping, and I'm like, what are they doing?
If Port Bolivar if Port Bolivar people are out in the bay,
Yeah.
trust me, they're not doing it just for
They're not
fun.
having fun.
There's a reason
Yeah,
for
they
it.
are.
If
So
you see Delano out there, there's a reason.
There's a few of them, and so I saw them, and I'm like, So I went and I had a sportsman's net, and I got some ropes and tied it up and went shrimping. Lo and behold, hour and a half later, I had 15 pounds.
But it's not as easy as what
It
everyone thinks.
is not.
Dragging a net in, because you're liable to catch, and especially if the jellyfish are bad.
Yeah.
Oh, that can be a disaster,
Yeah.
because you're burned up by.
You wear
jelly.
You wear slickers, and they call them Port Bolivar topsiders, the
Yeah.
boots. And so, but it's kind of a funny thing. You know, I feel like I'm a runner. I'm pretty active. I feel like I'm in pretty good shape. And I grabbed that net, and the first day I grabbed the net, you know, I lifting the boards in and that kind of, and shaking the stuff down. The next morning, Delano's a pretty big boy.
Yeah, you know why now.
Now I know why Delano's a pretty big boy. So, but it was a lot of fun. We had a great time, and we just added it to our guys' weekend, and we sent those guys home with some fish and, some shrimp, and it was fun, and had a good time.
There's always a part of, like Stingray has the catch and cook.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people take their fish in there. And
just talked to a friend the other day that did that.
There's something about going in there, and I've taken it in there and had parts of it fried, parts of it pecan crusted, parts of it, cooked different ways, blackened. But when you're sitting down eating shrimp and fish that you caught, there's something about that. And I don't know if it's in my head, but it always tastes better.
It's fresh is really, you can't beat it.
Right.
And so we do that too. Like for example, the week we'd come in and we'd either grill some fish or fry them or whatever, and boil some shrimp with them, and it was nice. It was nice. I had some friends that did the catch and cook thing down at Stingery, and they took some flounder down and they pecan crusted them, some of them, and they've had some crab meat put on them, and yeah, they had a good time.
I used to argue with people because in the fall, we may catch some trout, a few flounder, and I'd tell them, I'm just going to scale your flounder. Oh no, we want it filleted. And man, to me, filleting a flounder is like putting steak sauce on a fillet. You just don't put steak sauce on a good cooked steak or ketchup, and at least my opinion. But I'd tell them, look, trust me on this, and I'd scale them, and I'd run my fillet knife in on top of the bone and cut it back, and I'd tell them, now take a handful of crab meat, a handful of shrimp, a handful of breading, and stuff with all your seasoning, and stuff it in there and bake it. And I didn't have one person call me and say, next time fillet my flounder.
No, that's really a good thing.
I mean, that's just like, and especially when you can lift that bone out of there. And a lot of people don't realize, man, that bottom meat
is really good.
There's not a lot, but man, it's good.
This time of year, there is
fact,
some. Yeah.
If Chris and I, the few times we get it, I say, go ahead and eat the top. Eat what you want, and then I'll lift the bone out and scrape that bottom meat out, because it's sort of like cheek meat, on a snapper, snapper or trout. So anyway, but you never know what we're going to talk about here, but I can tell you there's a lot of tradition on Bolivar.
Yep.
And I was talking to some of the other advertisers the other day. Dan doesn't know this. He's probably rolling his eyes right now.
Something like that.
But once again, come right before Christmas, we're going to talk about family traditions. We did it last year and had good feedback from it, from all our show sponsors, talking about family traditions at Christmas time. Some of the families have grown. Some of them have changed a little bit. Some of them have changed some of the traditions they do. You'll just have to listen in, and that'll probably be the week of the 15th of December, but I can tell you those are some shows coming up. And if we can get Dan fishing more, you didn't fish much this year, did you?
It's been a busy year.
Busy year.
But I think there's a front coming in next week, if I'm not mistaken. So
actually, we've got one coming through on well, yeah, this will play later, but we've got like 2 in a week.
Yeah,
and the second one, they said, is going to drop the temperature pretty good.
Then
then it's on.
Right.
So, well, we're going to head on out. Hope you enjoyed the show. Until next time, I'm David with Bolivar Live. Y'all have a great day, great week. Come see us. God bless, and bye-bye. Video equipment is sponsored by Crystal Beach Decor and More, located at 1959 Highway 87 in Crystal Beach, Texas, and Beachy Beatnik Boutique and Jewelry, located at 970 Surfside and Highway 87 in Crystal Beach, Texas. Thank you to these two businesses for being our 2025 video equipment sponsor for Bolivar Live.